Dear friends, I'm back with another machine on the Vulnhub, which is pWnOS 2nd, which link will be added into the description section below so that you can download it. Before we move forward, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just get started. I think one thing I'd like to point out for you is we must follow the instructions to set up this lab. I think the steps are very clear. So now we can go inside the Kali Linux VM. As you can see, we need to do the nmap scanning first with the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and also use the options of -p- to do the comprehensive scan, and then output the result into this file. From the nmap scanning, we can tell that the target has two open ports. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service, and also the version information. Although this version is a bit old, however, we cannot find any exploitable vulnerability. The second one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the version information, which is Apache 2. So what we are going to do next is to do the immersion both manually and automatically. Let's launch our browser first to do the immersion manually first. We can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. As you can see, we got the page back. And here, we got we must look at the information left by the author very carefully. For example, here we got the username and the email. We can copy that and note it down to our notebook in case we need such information later. And also we can register a new user and log in. Of course, we need to check whether we can use, for example, test.com and password anything to log in. Failed. And also we can try to use the login bypass technique. We just added the single quote at the end. Password. Login. We got the error back. It means that the input has not been properly sanitized. Or in other words, maybe the target has SQL injection vulnerability. Later, we can utilize the SQL map to do the test. Before we do that, we need to do the immersion further. For example, we can launch our Nigato utility to review information about the web application. For example, like version information, the header information, and also the directories or common files. In this case, the Nigato can identify or discover some directories like includes, info, login, register. However, nothing very important or interesting from the perspective of penetration. To save time of this video, I will not go into any of them. Okay. Next, I think we can do the GoBuster to do the directory immersion. Similarly, we can however, we got another directory block. We can access this directory. I think this is another application and some sort of the block like WordPress. And we can check the source code of this page to see whether we can find more information. For example, like version information. As you can see here, we got the version of this CMS. We can copy that and note it down onto our notebook. However, before we try to utilize this CMS to make exploitation, I'd like to come back to the SQL injection point or vector. Let's go back. Do you remember? We have already know that this target possibly has the SQL injection vulnerability. So how to test? And we can use the Burp Suite to do that. First of all, we need to enable proxy, and we can launch the Burp Suite Community Edition, and then make sure the intercept option is on, and then we can put any information like that, password, login, and then we Burp Suite intercept this request, and then we can copy this request to the current working directory. We can use IEQ as file name. Then we can use SQL map to do the I'd like to quit from the directory enumeration. So I think for this machine, maybe there are several ways to get the loot or to get what we want. And in this video, I'd like to showcase how to utilize the SQL map or SQL injection vulnerability to penetrate into the box. So we can launch SQL map with option of R to specify the request. Maybe I need to rename this, remove the additional dot, and then we can execute SQL map again, level, press enter. As you can see, the target has such vulnerability, and also can tell us the backend DBMS is MySQL. So next, of course, the version is a bit old. Next, we try to enumerate databases information, DBS. Yeah, the 3 databases, and the first one is what we are interested in at this moment. So we can use the uppercase D to specify the database and enumerate out the tables information. There is just only one table with this database. So we can use the uppercase T to specify the table and then dump the data from this table, from this database. Yeah, we want to. Do you want to crack them via dictionary-based attack? No. As you can see, we got, please forgive the second line. This is created. This was created when I did the machine the first time. However, if you take a look at the dumped data, we got the password, although this is encrypted, and also the email. And this is the email. And however, this password is encrypted. Of course, we can use the online website to try to crack it. However, you will not succeed. For example, we can use the crack station, and we got no result or not found. Similarly, we can use the John the Ripper to do the cracking. I think also we cannot get what we are wanting or what we are expecting, right? So how to do? I think maybe we can try to execute the SQL map with OS shell to get the specialized shell of the target. Yeah, we default one. As you can see, we got the shell, and we can run the ID, which is www.data. However, if you think you can get another shell or spawn the shell, you will be wrong. I tried many ways to do that, all failed. So I think now we need to do some enumeration. For example, we can list the files. We cannot navigate across different directories. For example, if you try to navigate to home directory, you cannot. As you can see, we stay in the same directory. So, I think this will not affect us to emulate the machine. I mean, the target. For example, first of all, we can cut out this file. This file always contains the credentials. We can cut this file. As you can see, we got the good day. And we can copy and note it down to our notebook. And also we can cut out the password file. We got the username, Dan, of course, besides super user. All right. So now we need to enumerate out more information on the target. For example, we need to var. Very often we need to navigate across such spots or directories. No output. Interesting. Yeah, as you can see, this time we got another connection PHP file. So we can use var and copy. Because this shell is not very stable. So I think this is another password we can note down to our notebook as well. All right. So what else we can retrieve? For example, we need to var. Can we? We can. Also, we need to navigate or list files under block directory. And we can to see whether we can find more important information, such as credentials. No? So then I think we have already enumerate some information, for example, like username and password. Because just I mentioned earlier, for some cases we can use this shell we got from the SQL map to spawn the normal shell. However, I tried so many different ways. You can see from the Pentesting monkey website to spawn. All of them failed. So how to do? Because we have already got some credentials, maybe we can try use these credentials. In some circumstances, the password will be reused by the system. All right. I think I've already made it clear. So now we can SSH then. Maybe we can, then we do not need to use Hydra because they're just two users. Then and the password, we can try to use this one, the first one. Paste it in here. Failed. And then we can try to use the second password. Failed. So next we can try to connect to the target with root user. And then we can use this first password to try. Failed. Try again. Of course, we will try again. And we can copy the second one. All right, as you can see, very wonderful to get the root shell. Even we do not need to make any privilege escalation because we have already root or super user. Then we can navigate to root directory. We do not need to retrieve the root flag. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye.